As you're planning a hiking or trekking trip in the Alps, you're probably asking, what can I do to train and prepare for my trek? We've got some great tips on the website, and I've included that link right below. Last week, I put those tips to the ultimate test. There's no better, more demanding hiking national park in the United States than Grand Canyon. It dishes out extremes like no other place on earth. Extremes in temperature, extremes in elevation gain, extremes in distance. It's remote, unforgiving, largely inaccessible, and emergency communications are often non-existent. Grand Canyon is awe-inspiring, but it also demands your respect and needs to be taken seriously. Even though it's a national park, it's not a walk in the park. So last week I went down to hike Grand Canyon rim to river. I've crossed Grand Canyon on foot over a dozen times, either rim to river, and once a rim to rim in 36 hours. But I'm older now, aren't we all? And I knew I hadn't trained or I hadn't prepared as rigorously as I had in the past. So how did it go? Well, come along, I'll show you. We started our hike from the South Rim at 6:30 a.m., descending on the South Kaibab Trail. The South Kaibab Trail has the advantage of being the shortest rim-to-river trail in the park. In 7 miles, you descend about 4,800 vertical feet to the river. It's also a ridge hike with some spectacular panoramic views, especially beautiful at sunrise. But there's no water on the South Kaibab Trail, so it's best suited as a descent trail. After 4 hours of descent, we arrived at the Black Bridge to cross the Colorado River, and we had a short rest and snack break at Bright Angel Creek and Campground. Then we crossed the Colorado again, this time on the Silver Bridge, to begin our ascent up the Bright Angel Trail. It's a longer trail, about 9.5 miles. Both the South Kaibab Trail and the Bright Angel Trail are considered well-maintained corridor trails. Our party made the ascent in about 5 hours, with a rest stop and a chance to fill our water bottles at Indian Garden. What is it that makes Grand Canyon such a great training hike as you prepare to do one of the classic treks in the Alps? First, Grand Canyon is the perfect place to put your gear to the test. The temperature extremes mean that you must learn how to layer your clothing efficiently. On the steep ascents and descents, you'll learn the value of trekking poles and how to use them and maximize your performance and protect your joints. You'll learn very quickly if the hiking shoes you've chosen are up to the task. Next, Grand Canyon will help you understand and appreciate what elevation gain is all about. On our website, we show the daily hiking distances and elevation gain and loss, but unless you have some real-world hiking experience, those numbers won't mean anything to you. In Grand Canyon, a south rim-to-river hike is about 4,800 feet of vertical ascent and descent, and from the North Rim, it's nearly 5,800 feet of ascent and descent. We have a few passes in the Bernese Oberland and on the Via Alpina that are very comparable, so you need to find out in advance if you're up to that challenge. Finally, Grand Canyon tests your endurance and mental stamina. A Grand Canyon rim-to-rim or rim-to-river hike is 18 to 25 miles, depending on your route. There is no single day on any of our classic alpine treks with that kind of distance. So if you can do a rim-to-rim in the Grand Canyon, you're probably capable of the most strenuous treks in the Alps. And Grand Canyon has a twist that you won't find crossing alpine passes. You see, when you cross Grand Canyon on foot, the descent is at the start of the day when you're rested and fresh. Then you arrive at the river in the heat of midday, and you need to be able to muster the physical and mental reserves to get yourself back up to the rim. Hiking in the Alps is the trip of a lifetime. So before you embark on the trip of your dreams, make sure you're prepared so you can make the most of every minute. This is Greg Witt for Alpenwild. See you on the trail.